Hello everyone, welcome to the first session on SAP UI5 and Fiori training with OData services on SAP Web IDE. My name is Anubhav and I'm there in industry since last 4 years. Ever since the UI5 technology was started, I am providing trainings on SAP UI5 and this is my 16th batch on SAP UI5 and Fiori training. And ever since I've started giving training, I've improved a lot in my trainings, and you see every day the technology is changing so fast, and with that changing technology I am adapting myself also to upbring the new and new concepts to you which you can use and leverage in your real time projects. So that's one major advantage which you see as far as my training is concerned, that I don't teach anymore the stuff which is obsolete. For example, those who are already working UI5, they know that there's a library called SAP UI Commons which have been deprecated. So that's something which we don't use anymore. We use something which is always upbringing latest concepts in the industry so that you can really understand what when you look at a standard Fiori application, or when you're creating your own Fiori application, what is that you should use, do's and don'ts. Yeah, this course is divided into four phases. We will be looking at it in a minute. So I will be in a nutshell, I would say I'll be completing HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery. I will also provide you complementary object oriented ABAP sessions. We will look at the latest and greatest concepts in UI5 and Fiori, which includes component.js, routing, route match handler, manifest.json, custom controls, and all these the concepts will be covered without copy pasting the code. So majority of the time you see, whenever you attend an online course or attend with any other trainer, they will initially start with very basic, and later point of time they will start copy pasting the code. So copy pasting means they will have some ready-made sample with them. They will copy this ready-made sample, paste it into their IDE of choice, and show you the output. That way they skip the responsibility of covering line by line, explaining you the meaning of every line, and that's how they get rid of easily, get away from their responsibility. So that's not the right way of teaching. You see, majority of the students have paid already to some of the courses online to these trainers, and they kind of cheating. Yeah, so that's one feedback which I get from many students who come to me, who take training from a lot of different online training institutes, and finally they come and say, Anubhav, we wasted our money. It's because their style of teaching is very monolithic. It's copy paste style. They copy the code, they paste the code, they show you the output, and these are ready made samples. Anything outside the purview of this code also, they don't know anything. And another interesting point is they are not evolving over a period of time. You see, in UI5 there has been number of changes over a period of time. We are right now living in the world of Fury 2.0, where people are talking about Copilot, Leonardo. They are talking about HANA integration, HANA access, these new things. And these people are still at the at the backward things. They're still teaching Eclipse, creating basic UI5 application using UI Commons library, not at all covering concepts like component JS, routing, which are very important for a UI5 developer to integrate your application with Launchpad. So whenever you're deciding for training, see what exactly the value that training is bringing to you. Is that trainer really teaching you, or cheating you by doing copy paste? So with the way of copy paste, anybody can teach anything. If I give you 10 sample programs, you can also copy paste the code and teach anybody, right? So that's not the way of teaching. The right way of teaching is writing every single line of code so you can understand the meaning of it. Because today you may be able to achieve the output, but when it comes to maintenance project, you don't need to look at existing code base which is there in your company and change it according to in order to fix the bugs or enhancement whichever is requested to you. So that's a very important fact, that copy pasting code is not a good way at all for learning things. Yeah, and that's why I see most of you have seen my YouTube tutorials where I always repeat this point, that never copy paste the code. Because when you copy paste the code, you kind of skip understanding the reasoning behind every single line of code. And that's what you will see me doing in this course. We will learn all these concepts without copy pasting. Then moving on to the phases of this course, as you know that majority of you are from ABAP background, BO, BI, Portal, WebDin Pro, BSP, or even you may be a functional consultant who would be willing to learn SAP UI5. So this course is built for you. If you don't know anything, you are just college pass out. A lot of people come to me with a question, Anubhav, what is a prerequisite? I say zero prerequisite to learn my course, because everything what is needed is anyways going to be covered on this course. So you just come with a laptop, an internet connection, and understanding of English language. That's it. Done. I will cover everything from scratch. So don't worry. We will look at the foundation for UI5, which includes HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. Yeah. So this is all we will be looking at as in the first phase of our course. Moving towards the next phase of our course, we'll look at the UI5 framework. Now, another question comes in in your mind is, Anubhav, what is this UI5 and Fiori? Are these two things same, or are these two things different? So the main problem today is we have a lot of myths around us. We have a lot of talks around us. Our colleagues, our friends, our manager, they all talk a lot about UI5, Fiori, but people really don't understand in industry what's going on, how to adapt ourselves to this new technology, what is the right path of learning. Yeah, all these things nobody answer and nobody knows totally. So this is what this course will do to you. It will give you the right path in your career. It will, if you are working already in SAP domain, or maybe want to switch to SAP domain, this course will give you the guidance. The most important part, it will give you a guidance how to proceed and adapt yourself to this upcoming technology. Because now you see in industry, a majority of the projects are on UI5, Fiori, Gateway, OData, ABAP on HANA, HANA Cloud Platform. These are all the things which you are hearing around you, but you don't have a clue what's going on. And that's why you took a decision to choose or come to Anubhav session and understand what exactly these things are. So the base of Fiori is UI5 framework. It's a framework which provides you libraries and APIs through which you can build a Fiori application. Fiori is all about user experience. We will be looking into deep in these things in detail. So before that, we need to learn the base framework, and the framework here is UI5 framework. So we'll look into the architecture of UI5 framework, and we'll look at also the application development using UI5. Then we will move to Fiori introduction and application development, mobile app development using Fiori. We will see what is Fiori user experience and user interface. Difference between UI5 and Fiori, we will explore. Very important interview question. We'll look at Fiori libraries, types of different application like work list, master detail, and then all of this we will be looking into SAP Web IDE with XML view. It's an open challenge. You can go to any training and trainer today and ask them what is that they're teaching. They are only teaching on Eclipse with JavaScript views. I will cover everything from scratch on Web IDE, which is the preferred tool used in all the companies for creating Fiori application or maintaining them. We will learn everything on Web IDE with XML views. Okay, that's what we'll be doing. Then coming the type of apps we will discuss, and then switch to OData. So OData is a open data protocol. So earlier what we used to do in WebDin Pro, BSP, or ABAP is we used to write select queries in function modules or in classes to read and write the data to the SAP database. But now here we have new protocol called OData service, which comes into picture. And using the OData service, you will be able to read and write the data from the browser to the SAP system. And that's what exactly we'll be learning. I will show you. So now some people say, is the ABAP required? Yes, ABAP is required if you are using technique number 1 to create OData, which is service creation technique. If you're using service generation technique, ABAP knowledge is not required. I will show you both the techniques. So those who are non-ABAPers, those who kind of not comfortable with ABAP programming, okay, no problem for you. At least these three phases are perfectly clear for you. There's no dependency. In the last phase, I will also show you technique called service generation, which is a good learning. Even you are not an ABAPer, you are even a functional consultant in SAP, you can still create OData services. Together with this, I will offer complimentary object-oriented ABAP sessions in the video mode, which will be also provided to you on our training blog. Now, finally, coming to what's our schedule of this training. We are starting from today, 14th of February 2018. Our expected end date will be 18th of March 2018, and the timings is going to be absolutely same what it is today. 7 to 8 a.m. India time on weekday basis we will be having session. Weekends will be off for you. Weekend morning will not be having any class. So only weekdays 7 to 8 a.m. India timings. Duration of this course, yes, again 40 plus hours, with complimentary OOPS ABAP sessions are separate out of this 40 hours. So complimentary OOPS ABAP session, I'll give you about 4 to 5 hours of sessions, which is separate out of this 40 hours. 40 hours plus pure UI5 theory, gateway, OData, HTML5, CSS, and all that stuff will be. So what you're gonna get as part of this training is gonna get a blog access of something of this sort. Let me just show you my existing batch which I just completed about the last Monday. So if you come down, you have different options listed over here. So we will have a daily 1 hour of class in that batch, and I completed already that batch, and session recordings are also available for that batch. So I've recorded all the classes. So after the class is over, you are going to get video for that class. So by any chance, let's say if you miss some session, you can later point of time go to our training blog and watch that session using video. So you can see all the classes which I have conducted. I had posted the video for all these classes onto the training blog, you see. So even in case you miss any class, no, don't worry, you can go ahead and look at those videos directly on the our training blog. By any chance you have some project in your company and you cannot wait for live batch to complete, you can go ahead and quickly subscribe to my video based course and start learning from video. All the videos, latest videos are available for you to watch. So if you don't have time, you say, Anubhav, I cannot wait for 2 months to complete the course, you can get started with video sessions today itself. This is one of the question which I get it all the time in the email. So I get a lot of love on YouTube, and that's why I always give back to community. So on YouTube, if you go to my channel for YouTube, you'll find a lot of free videos on UI5 and Fury I had posted on YouTube for that matter. So you can easily go and check them up. So maybe I just copy this video URL from here and just go to YouTube and show you that I had not just posted one video, multiple videos on YouTube I had posted, and a lot of people are following me continuously to learn it from me. Yeah. So I assume that not everybody can afford the course, right? So that's why I thought, let's start at least something on YouTube which gives some idea to people learning UI5 and Fury, at least decide their path of learning. So multiple videos on different things I had posted on YouTube. You can go ahead to this playlist and watch up some free videos on YouTube as well. So I will be keep posting some few videos on YouTube, but if you want to really get benefit out of it, you should complete the course and then keep following me on YouTube, because there are some things which are advanced things over here you may not understand clearly. So that's one interesting thing. You can also go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, so in case if there is another video which I'm posting, you will get notified automatically. So just go to my channel Anubhav Oberoi and subscribe to that, so that you don't miss out any action happening on YouTube, on my channel with anything, because technology, as I said, changing every next month. We get something new, and that something new could be a gap for you after you complete the training, and that gap, that delta, is what I fill with the help of the YouTube videos. Okay. So that is something which is a very nice option. For the kind of information, I not just offer UI5 and Fiori training on WebID with Gateway, I also offer S4 HANA, ABAP on HANA technical training, where we talk about these latest techniques, HANA evolution, uh, talking about information modeling in HANA, proxy objects, working ABAP on HANA, new SQL enhancements, performance tuning, uh, consuming the new artifacts using ABAP system on top of SAP HANA, CDS views, ABAP managed data procedure, AMDPs, ADBCs, SQL scripts, procedures, different types of models like calculation view, scripted calculation view, attribute view, analytical views. All that is what I'm covering on my ABAP on HANA training. So those who are interested, please go ahead with this ABAP on HANA training. But I would recommend you to not take two trainings at a single point of time. See, for me it is a business. I will get paid off if you buy more courses, but I don't recommend anyone to buy multiple courses simultaneously, because then you will kind of lose a track. You have two things and then you probably lost between these two things. So don't do that. Complete or focus on one thing at a time, and once you are clear what is your goal, slowly anyways you get ramped up. You will anyways get that feel from inside that, yeah, now I'm ready to take up the next one. So don't hurry up, we have time. Don't hurry up, we have time. We have enough opportunities, we have enough amount of resources. And I too am with you to provide you the right direction and right knowledge what you need today to survive. But I would say, go one by one. Don't hurry up things. A lot of student comes to me in the middle of my batch and say, Anubhav, we want your ABAP on HANA. I clearly say no to them. You can ask them, those who are already part of this batch also. Those who, some of them were part of earlier batch, I ported them to this live batch because they wanted to have live training. I told them clearly no, because what you're doing today, first focus on that, complete that, and then come back. I'm sure after taking one training from me you will not go anywhere, because that's my style of teaching. Okay, so that's about the course schedule and the sessions. So if you don't have time, if you by any chance miss any class, you can look at the video posted on our training blog. You can purely complete the video training also. If you don't have time, you don't have patience to sit for 2 months and look at the live training. So then let's switch on to our development environment. And before we switch on, let's talk about little bit on what is SAP UI5, what exactly it is, why SAP UI5 is being used. Now, one disclaimer I want to give here to all my ABAP friends, those who are from ABAP background, they are kind of afraid already. Anubhav is going to cover something on Java, and Java is our biggest rival, right, as we know. So one disclaimer I want to give: there is no Java knowledge required to learn SAP UI5 and Fiori. Yeah, this is one disclaimer. So this is something which may be relaxing for you. After working 7 8 years or 9 years in ABAP, you must be thinking, now I need to learn Java or what, right? So no Java knowledge is required to learn anything at all. Okay, we need JavaScript, okay, which is different than Java, and we will cover this in our course. Okay, I will teach you what is JavaScript properly from scratch as if you are a fresher. So don't panic. You might have already looked at JavaScript in your college days, but you might have forgot. Don't worry, everything will get refreshed. Okay. Now, what will be our development environment? Our development environment will be SAP Web IDE. Now, a lot of people come to me, Anubhav, will you give server access? You don't need server access towards the end of class. You need server only in last 5 classes for our data. Okay, you don't need any server access. You need SAP Web IDE to build our application, which is absolutely free. Okay, I will show you how to set up this free Web IDE on your local computer so you can start your development. So don't think about server or anything else. I will cover everything. If you are a college pass out, enough for me. You have a laptop, internet connection, that's it. You don't need anything, guys, to learn this course. Don't even worry about these jargons. What is Web IDE? What is UI5? Everything will be covered. But you need to take a step forward to uh, to learn it, right? Many times we talk a lot but we don't take a step towards learning. We talk a lot with our colleagues. I want to learn UI5, I want to learn ABAP, I want to learn this, but how many times you took a real genuine step towards it, right? So that's something which is now or never, guys, because you see industry is changing so fast. You will see in my next discussion. Okay, then coming here to SAP UI5. What is SAP UI5? So SAP UI5 is a framework to develop responsive web applications. These applications can be executed on different platforms, different browsers, and devices. Yeah, that's what exactly SAP UI5 is. SAP UI5 is a framework. What is a framework? Let's understand this word called framework. Framework is a collection of libraries. Okay, framework is a collection of libraries. That's also an interview question. So we will look at all the interview questions during our course, and my throughput rate is 98% for interview. If anybody covers my training properly and they go for interview, 98% success chances. Free interview questions are also posted by one of my student on my website, so you can download it absolutely free. Whether you're joining course, not joining on course, your my YouTube knowledge is free for you. Interview questions on SAP UI5 and Fury available on onlinefurytrainings.com. Feel free to download them. Absolutely free for you. Interview questions on UI5 and Fury. You can go ahead and download them, and you can also see ABAP on HANA interview question absolutely free for you. Some OOPS ABAP tutorials also posted over here in the briefcase, absolutely free. WebDin Pro interview question and ABAP interview question absolutely free for you. You can go ahead and download it from my website. Let me put the link on the chat box. You all can download and leverage it. Okay. Now coming back. So what is a framework? Framework is a collection of library. 100% interview question. So what is a framework? It's a collection of libraries. Now what is a library? Library is a collection of classes. What is a class? Class is a collection of methods, attributes, events, etc. So we all know what is a class in object oriented world. It's a template for an object which includes methods, attributes, events, etc. So a collection of classes becomes a library, and a collection of library becomes a framework. Hope this is clear to all of you. Such a big word, framework, such a big jargon for us, and so simple definition for framework. Very interesting. What is a framework? Collection of libraries. Each library is a collection of classes. Each class includes methods, attributes, events, etc. Uh, then the next interesting word here called responsive. What is responsive? What is responsive? So some people say responsive, I would treat it like fast. No, responsive doesn't mean fast. Responsive means which adapts itself based on devices. Okay, so you see, this is the world of mobile devices. Everybody trying to build application which can run on tablets, desktops, right, on different mobile devices. So responsive web application is an application which adapt itself automatically according to devices. 100% interview question. If you are coming for UI5 Fiori, this is the question which is my first question. What is UI5? The moment you give this definition, I will start asking these questions. So I will prepare you for it also during our course. So that you will have high chances of success during interview. I will exactly note down all the interview questions in this PPT, and this PPT I will share with you. So you can take a print of this PPT and carry with you before interview, and it will be easy for you to crack the interview pretty nicely. Okay, now these applications can be executed on different platforms, be it Windows, Android, any of the platform, on different browsers, be it Mozilla Firefox, Chrome, IE, Edge, Safari, any of the browser, and on different devices, mobile, tablet, and desktops. So this is overall the definition of UI5 framework. Now, why exactly we need this framework? So if you look at the architecture or evolution of SAP UI technology, typically what we have in SAP is we have three-tier architecture. So we have application layer, we have presentation layer, and we have database layer. That's our three-tier architecture, those who already know SAP basics. So this is our three-tier architecture. We have presentation layer, we have application layer, and we have finally the database layer. This is our three-tier architecture in SAP. Now, if you see over a period of time, when you joined a company as an ABAPer, maybe around 5 years, 6 years, or 10 years back, you saw that this is what was the typical architecture. We were working with SAP GUI based screens connecting to our SAP ECC system, and were trying to execute some dialog programs in this system, and they were using some conventional databases, right? So this was the old setup. And now if you see the evolution of SAP UI5, it's evolving, every day. If you see, it's evolving, it's getting bigger and bigger. So you can see this is the pattern what we are seeing in industry. The technology is changing so fast, and now the knowledge which you gain during your training, during your initial ramp up when you joined a training, is no more or is less relevant. And that's why you see a shift in industry. Everybody is talking about UI5 Fiori, everybody is talking about these new technologies, and this is an indication to you that you should change yourself. If you won't change yourself, market will change you, and when market changes you, it will be a painful experience for you, because you would not get that great promotion, you would not get that great opportunity as far as new projects are concerned. So better change yourself early rather than let market change you. That will be painful for you. So now if you see, presentation layer has been changing and evolving, so that's where the UI5 comes into picture. So I'll talk more about it. So in the presentation layer, the old way was SAP GUI. So we had earlier SAP GUI, and then there was this dot-com bubble. The bubble was there, dot-com bubble, and this www. So that point of time, SAP thought of bringing their UI technology to web browsers. So first time it happened, SAP decided to bring their technology to web browsers. Okay, and as far as web browser based technology is concerned, we have SAP WebDyn Pro and SAP BSP technology. WebDyn Pro was again in WebDyn Pro Java and ABAP, and we had SAP BSP technology mainly used in SAP CRM products to design web-based applications. Okay, so once this is done, then moving next, what we had was, we have now this world of mobile devices. So in order to now adapt to mobile devices, SAP have decided to go generate a new UI technology. Now, disadvantage of these technologies was that these technologies were not open in nature. You cannot extend them. You cannot provide an extensibility to them. If there is a UI control which is not available in WebDyn Pro, you cannot create it. But here now in UI5, it doesn't become a bottleneck for developer. You can do lot more than these conventional web technologies. And also the main advantage that it supports all type of devices. It supports mobile device, it supports tablets, and it supports all the desktop devices as well. So that's the main advantage of using SAP Web IDE. Sorry, SAP UI5. So UI5 allows you to build one single code which can run on all devices, and that's why we call it as responsive. It can run on any device or any device, but by adapting itself automatically. And that's why you see every company now wants to move to SAP UI5 and Fiori. Now you see there are different SAP products in the market. So there are a lot of products. You may heard about S4 HANA, you may heard about Suite on HANA, yeah, business suite on SOH. Yeah, you might have heard about SAP CRM powered by HANA, SAP BW powered by HANA. Yeah, BW powered by HANA. Yeah, you might have heard about hybris marketing. You might have heard about business by design. So all these technologies, all these SAP products which SAP is offering today in industry, they all using the SAP UI5 user experience, which is known as Fiori. So if you see in the market, any program or any new development, new user interface which is being built, be it in cloud, be it in on-premise, be it in S4, SOH, any of these products of SAP, it's all built using SAP UI5 framework. Now you can see the number of opportunities you have in the market today. A lot of people come and ask me about what is a job prospect. Job prospect is amazing. I still have in my mailbox 4 to 5 inquiries on UI5 and Fiori developers. Tell me the location, I will get you the job perspective. But can you deliver? Do you know the technology well? Can you deliver the results? If yes, you're good. There is always a work for you. There is always better opportunity for you. So these all products uses SAP UI5 based Fiori applications. So you can see huge pull, huge demand in the market going forward. This is the UI technology. This is the presentation layer in future. Or in fact, it's already started. You see majority of the project in your company around you are also on UI5 and Fiori. And that's one reason why you are here today, right? That's one reason why we all are here today. And believe me, it has given me a lot. Personally speaking, I was a WebDin Pro developer for about 6 to 7 years. I worked hard on WebDin Pro, floor plan managers, BRF plus, BOPF. But now industry, I understood the industry pulse very early. And since I understood the pulse very early, I got benefited out of it. Okay, so UI5 Fiori given me a lot more than you can see. You can imagine this is my 16th batch, and I don't take student in a single batch or a single one-on-one student. This is my 16th batch, so you can imagine I already completed 15 batches, and on an average, if you see, let's say 25 student, so you can calculate how many students I've already taught. Okay, very important, very interesting. Okay, so let's move on then. Let's try to understand what exactly there inside this box of called UI5. So this is the evolution of UI5 or evolution of UI technology. And then now let's note down here what's there inside this UI5 box. So if you just come and try to note down here. So let's imagine this is your UI5 framework. The overall framework I would divide into two parts. One is called design time libraries or design time part of the UI5 framework. One is called runtime. So one part of this framework is called SAP UI5 design time component. And the next part on the right side, which you have it here, is called SAP UI5 runtime component. Okay, SAP UI5 runtime component. Then what is SAP UI5 design time component? UI5 design time component includes a lot of different libraries. So as I told you, it's a collection of libraries. So these libraries are part of UI5. Now, before we get into library part, there is something called base. So everything has a base. Okay, like when you learn SQL programming, when you write a SQL statement, select star from Mara table, it actually gets converted to a C++ program behind the scenes. So that's the base. On top of it, SQL is being built. Similarly here, if you look at, we have the base framework for building SAP UI5, which all includes HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, less, D3, Data.js, ABAP.js. These are all the different base libraries or base files on top of which SAP UI5 framework is built. So I'm going to cover all these in our training, all of these things which are mandatory or which are kind of interesting for you to understand and learn first before you get into your real development. Very important, very helpful. This is what we'll be looking at in our course to start with. When I start my first session from tomorrow, I'll start with HTML5. So don't panic, you are with the right person. This is the right place. You are going to learn it from very scratch, as if like you are a fresher. Okay, then coming to the core libraries. So on top of this layer, SAP have built a UI5 core. This UI5 core includes some couple of libraries like sap.ui.core library. Then we have sap.ui.mvc. Inside the core we have .mvc library. Then we have sap.ui.unified library. Okay, these are all the different libraries we have it. On top of this, we have different control libraries, UI control libraries like SAP UI Commons. We have sap.ui.ux3. We have sap.ui.ux3. We have ui.suit UI Commons. Yeah. Then we have sap.m library. M stands for mobile here. SAP M library. M stands for mobile library, which is mainly used to build Fiori user interface. Then we have SAP UI table library. We have SAP UI layout library. Okay. Likewise, we have a lot of different libraries in SAP UI5 framework. Using these libraries, these libraries include a lot of classes, and using those classes, we typically create our user interface. We create our screens basically. Then comes on the right side the runtime component of UI5, which includes something called renderer. This renderer job is to understand what code you have written and convert it to in a way so that browsers can understand this piece of code. That's what this renderer does. It also includes some server-side components for interacting with services. So that's what exactly we will typically also use it in the system. Now, whenever you're writing a program, what are all the different phases of a program? So in order to write our first UI5 program, I will typically explain it in a simple way. So whenever you're writing a program, what are all the different um, prospects, or what are all the different sections of a program? Whenever you write using a programming language, this is what you always follow. So first is you will do an initialization. After initializing your program, you will do your variable declaration. Once this is done, you will do write your actual programming code, which has all the imperative logic, which includes all your if else condition, looping, your variable consumption, your transferring data from one variable to another variable. All that is your coding. Then you will write some code to give an output on the UI, and once it is all done, you will do a cleanup of your variables. Right, this is what you typically do. This is the flow of any program, be it a C program, VB.NET, ASP.NET, Java, Core Java, ABAP, or any programming language you take. This is a normal flow. The same thing we are going to do here in SAP. So we are going to write now a UI5 program, and in order to do that, we need to follow all these steps. So the first step is initialization. In order to make use of SAP UI5, we need to first load the SAP UI5, right? We need to load the library, load the framework, so that we can use its APIs, we can use its libraries and classes. So loading of UI5 framework is also known as bootstrap. Okay, bootstrap is a process. So in computer, when you start computer, it takes some time to load your Windows screen or Mac screen. Why? It's booting. It's a starting, it's a booting process. So that's a starting process. When you are doing writing any UI5 program, you have to first boot up the UI5. You have to load the UI5 framework in the browser, and that is done using something called a bootstrap. So there is a code which we have to write in order to load the UI5 framework. It's called bootstrap, and that bootstrap is called script tag. So now don't worry right now what is a script tag. I will be explaining this in our JavaScript chapter, but since it's important, you would see this piece of code in what am I going to write, so you should not get confused. That's the reason why am I covering about this bootstrap. So you have to put id, and in the id SAP UI bootstrap. Yeah, that's what you have to write. And then you have to put the source, from where are you loading this UI5 framework. So you have to put the source src property, and usually the source is resources slash sap UI core.js. So we are telling the system that you can load the UI5 framework from this path. Okay, this path you can load it. So that's initialization, that's a loading. And then you also tell which library. As I told you, it's a framework which is collection of libraries. So you have to tell which libraries you will be loading. So you can tell here sap.m library I want to load, SAP mobile library. And then what next you can do, you will see that which is the theme you want to load. So there is a property in UI5 called theme property, which you can say which is the color, what is the color theme I want. Like on Google Gmail, we all use the Gmail. So in Gmail, what we do, we can choose the theme that will decide the look and feel and the color of our Gmail inbox, correct? Similarly here, we can choose a theme which will decide the look and feel of the Fiori application. And then we end with the script tag. Is that clear to all of you? What is a bootstrap? It's just initialization of UI5 framework in the browser. We will look at what is script tag. This we will look at detail in our JavaScript chapter, which I will be covering. So the theme name is SAP Blue Crystal. I want a blue color look and feel. So that's why I give this theme name. So that's my step number one whenever I'm writing anything. Now remember guys, since it's a web application development, we need to use something called HTML. So what is an HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, and in HTML includes different sections. So HTML starts with an HTML tag like this, and this includes two parts. One is called header of HTML and one is called body of HTML. So these are all the two sections which we have inside an HTML. So header of an HTML includes its brain. So just like humans, we have header and body. We have our head and body. Head is our processing. Body is what you see. So you cannot see human brain actually. You can only see the body. But human brain is there inside the body and which is doing some processing. So that any kind of processing which you want to do should be done in header. Anything which you want to show to the user should be written in the body. We will again discuss in detail about HTML5 in our upcoming chapter, our tomorrow's class, which is basics of HTML. We will discuss that from there, but right now just understand this is how an HTML looks like. Now what we will do is, this is a part which loads the UI5 framework. To load this UI5 framework, this is actually a processing, this is a bootstrapping, it's loading. So this has to go into header or body. Who will answer? This is a processing. Processing should be done in header or in the body. Where it should be done? Anyone? Where shall we do the processing? In the header or in the body? What do you think?
Header.
Where shall we do the processing? This processing should be done in which section? Should it be done in the body or in header? Of course in the header. Thank you Sam for answer. Hitesh, you are also right. We will do this in header. So we will now write very simple HTML page and load this UI5 framework using header. So let's go to the system. Now just for information guys, this is our SAP Web IDE which will be our development environment. Some of you might already know, some of you might not know. Don't worry, we will look at how to set up this development environment ourselves in the system. I will explain that in our course. So as I told you, no prerequisite, nothing. You may wonder how did this screen came, Anubhav, how did you got this? This is something which you will also know. In our next first session, I will show you how to set up our development environment. That will be our first session where I will show you where to download this software, how to set up this software in your computer, and how to start it, so that you will also get this similar screen. So you see there are a lot of Fiori projects which I have created with the help I have created in my course. So you can see this is the kind of, ultimately what is our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to build an application of this sort. So you see this is the kind of application. You see another interesting thing, that this application is getting translated automatically to the language. So you can choose the language and it will get translated automatically, this particular application. This is the kind of Fiori application we will be building towards the end of our course. So you will learn actually this kind of application, how to build this application. This is your Fiori user experience. This is what you will be learning in our course. Okay, that's what you will be learning. Okay, let's come back. So I'll create my first project, say new. I'll create a folder and I say demo project. Click on OK. And now I'll just create an HTML file inside. So I create a file and I say index.html. Just as some name I've given, and let me just create an HTML tag, and inside that a header, and then we will give a body. Now in the body I will put just a div tag, and I will say welcome to first HTML page. Save this. Let's click on the file and click on execute. Here you see run button. Just like you run your above program, you see output comes welcome to first HTML page. That's the output you are getting now. But you see the background of the screen is white. Yeah, because we will load UI5 framework, and you would see magic. When I load UI5 framework, UI5 framework will be bring kind of a blue screen, because we chose the theme to be blue crystal, right? So it should bring a blue screen for us. So let's load the UI5 framework in the header section. So never copy paste the code, and never learn from trainers who are teaching you copy paste. These trainers are just making you fool. They are not teaching. They will complete course they will cover by copy pasting code. With that they will get rid of their responsibility of explaining you every single line of code, and that will hamper you somewhere in your project. Believe me, it when I was learning SAP UI5, I experienced the same problem. Okay, I experienced the same problem. I'm myself a developer. I have experienced the problem, and that's why I thought of launching the training myself, where I teach people without copy paste. What I faced, I will not let you face that problem. Okay, id sap ui bootstrap. Then we come to src property. What is the source? Resources slash sap ui core js. And then comes is data sap ui libs. I want to load mobile library sap.m, and then I want to also tell the system which is the theme I want. So data sap ui theme, sap blue crystal. Okay, that's what my script tag is. This is the loading of UI5 framework. Now how does system know where is this path? Right, system doesn't know where is this path. Correct, system doesn't know. So you had put some path, and if this is your development environment. Actually speaking, this particular file which we are looking for is part of, it's delivered as part of this development environment what you see. Okay, but to tell this development environment we need a special file, that whenever this index.html is getting loaded, this resource means something. This is a path where the file is stored. Like in your operating system, whenever you want to go to a file, you always tell, okay, go to this folder, this folder, this folder, and then you will see a file there, right? Similarly here, this particular path has to be already is already there. This particular file is already there in this development environment, but it doesn't know the path. So this particular path we need to mention to the browser, that where to load, what does this path mean for you. So to tell that, we need to create a special file in our development project. That file is named as neo app.json. I will explain that file about in detail, what is json, what is neo app, what is the structure, and what is written in the file. For time being, I will just get that file from my existing project, because this needs a lot of knowledge, this needs a lot of understanding first in order to get the full-fledged idea. So right now for time being, I will just get that file new app.json in my project from another project. Okay, and I will also not show you the code inside this. You will get confused at this point. Over a period of time, first I will teach you what is JSON, and then I will teach you what does this file includes. For time being, I just keep it as it is. Now at the body level, what I also do is I put something called class, and I put SAP UI body as my class name. Save this. Now let's come back and refresh our page. and voila, you see the white screen now turned into a blue screen. What does this indicate? It clearly indicates that we have a UI5 framework loaded. Our framework is now loaded. It's available because your screen color have changed. That clearly indicates congratulations, you have successfully loaded this UI5 framework using Bootstrap. Now what is this class? What is this? Why am I rating this one? All this we'll look at in our CSS chapter. Okay, so today's demo is more about explaining you my teaching style, what we will be covering in the course, and what is the flow. Okay, now in order to show you creating our first control, let's say I want to now put a button on the screen. Okay, so now since my framework is ready, I can use this framework's libraries. So this is my framework has libraries and classes. So let me show you how do you create your first UI control. What is the syntax to create your first UI control in the UI5? So what is the syntax to create your first UI control? The syntax is very simple. You need to declare a var. So in ABAP, what we do, we put data, we put LV Matner, we put type, MIT right? This is what we do in ABAP programming. We put data, which means a data declaration, variable name, type, and its type. Here it's little different. We are doing same thing, but little different. We are doing var. Var means creating a variable. Okay, var, and then we put an object name because a UI control is an object for us. So let me put an object name, whatever I like. I put a Spider-Man maybe. That's my object name. So I will put these names, these character names, so that you can understand what is a keyword and what is something which you can decide. Okay, that's why I will put these some character names so that you can understand what is that something which we can control, what is that something programming language can control. And then we put new keyword, and then we put library name dot class name inside the library of UI5, and then we put id comma properties. This is the syntax to create a new UI control in SAP UI5. What is an ID? ID is nothing but unique ID of the UI control. What is properties? So whenever you're creating, let's say, button, you need to decide label for the button, right? Whenever you're creating an input field, you want to default some value inside input field. All these comes under properties. So all the properties like text, press, label, etc. will be provided using this, using properties. Okay, now very interesting point. There are three types of brackets in our life: mathematics, basic maths. Now whenever you're working, this much basic knowledge is required. Lack of this basic knowledge hamper you a lot. The first type of is bracket, which we call it a small bracket, it's known as parenthesis. Okay, very important guys, because each bracket has a different significance in UI5. This is called middle bracket, or also known as braces. The third is called the big bracket, which is known as bracket. Actual bracket is this. So whenever you are talking to your colleague, your friend, or with me, or whenever I'm talking to you, I will always ask you to use these symbols. And that's why you may see this is so trivial, Anubhav. Why are you teaching this? It is important. You will see majority of us doesn't focus on our foundation, and a weak foundation is the reason why we are not able to survive today. I will make your foundation so strong. I will teach you like these kind of trivial things also, which you some of you may think trivial but make sense for me, because as a developer, when I started learning, I faced these difficulties between these symbols. So when you're giving properties, you should always use braces like this. This is what you should use. Whenever you are creating class name, you should use parentheses. You see, I used a parenthesis here. So this symbol has a meaning, and that's why we are using these symbols, different symbols. So properties should always be given in braces. All the properties should be given in braces. Okay, let's go to the system and use this syntax to create our first UI control. So I come here and I write again a section to write my code. This is a section which I'm writing, script section, where I will write my code. Oops, I did a typo. Yeah, and then I say var spiderman equals to new sap.m.button. I created a button control and I give id spidey. I give an id to this control, curly braces, and here I will say text property for the button. This is Spider-Man. That's my label for the button. This is what user will see as a label for my button control. Is that clear to everybody? Using the syntax, I have written our first UI control. Every statement in ABAP must end with what? Anybody, any ABAPer in the room. Every statement in ABAP ends with perfect answer, Sam. Period. Right? In ABAP, we end it with period. Here, it's semicolon. We end with semicolon. You see, I've ended with semicolon. I could have written the same thing in a big line, but I just press some enters and ended with semicolon over here. Okay, now is this button be visible to the screen? One question, basic question, whatever come in your mind, will that be known to the person in front of you? Anyone, whatever you're thinking, can that be visible to someone? It is not. When somebody can know your mindset, when you speak, when you express your feelings, when you express your feelings using your eyes, using your mouth, using your tongue, right? Right, that's when user actions, your body actions, that's when people can experience or know what is there in your mind, right? Your mind, nobody can read mind. People can only see your actions. Based on that, they will decide what's there in your mind, correct? Same thing happening here. This is a header part, this is a brain. What you created in the brain is a UI control, but that's not yet visible to the user. To make it visible to the user, you have to create a body element. And let me create a body element with an ID called Anubhav. Okay, I will explain you what is this div tag. Yeah, what is this div tag? I will explain you what is this ID. I will explain you all this in our basic HTML chapter. So don't panic. This is just a demo. Then I will say, place this Spider-Man. Okay, place it in my body, and in my body I have an element called Anubhav. Place this button inside this element Anubhav. That's what I'm telling the system. So basically I'm saying this particular button Spider-Man should be placed over here in the body. That's when people can see it. Otherwise people cannot see. Just the way what's there in your mind, I can't see until you give me actions, until you look at me. Okay, somebody, when you look at me with anger, that's when I know you have angriness in your mind, correct? So your actions will do. So whatever is there in body is what is visible. So we have to place this now in the body of HTML. That's it, we are done. And then we are ready. Save this, come back and refresh. Voila, congratulations, your first button is available on the UI. Yeah, now when I'm clicking, nothing is happening because I've not written any code for that. That's, of course, we got to learn a lot to reach to this level of writing the code. This is very basic. So ultimately we're going to build this kind of application, what I'm showing here. Okay, what you're seeing here is what we will be building at the end of the day. This is the kind of application we will be creating with all the knowledge what we gain. And to build this, we have to use a lot of amazing concepts. A lot of learning is required to build this. Okay, so that's the whole idea. So hope you like the demo class. Now I have 5 minutes for all your questions. Please feel free to ask your questions one by one. You can put them in the chat box, or you can also unmute your line and ask your questions, guys. Please feel free to ask your questions. It's your time. My time is done. Any questions anyone has, feel free to put it in chat box. You can unmute your line and ask the questions. Should I deposit the fee on 16 Feb? No problem. I will send you the meeting invite. Just drop me an email regarding that you are interested. I will give you the access for classes starting tomorrow. So don't miss any class. If you have, you want to take some time to deposit fee, I'm fine with it. You can also go ahead and deposit in 2 installments. Regarding the fee, please send me an email. If you're interested, I will disclose the fee after that. Can we use SAP UI5 for report development? Yes, you can, but actually you should not. Okay, reason is SAP UI5 is SAP UI strategy. We are not here to convert SAP GUI based application to WebDyn Pro because or to a UI5 based, because you see for that WebDyn Pro BSP is already there. If we just want to convert our conventional GUI application to web based, we already have these two. We need to come out of mindset and give a great user experience. That's why we have UI5, so that we can come out of conventional GUI mindset, conventional report mindset, and give a better user experience to end users. So next question here is, can SAP UI5 based for RF devices? Yes, it supports all the RF devices. You can do barcode scanning, you can do camera functionality, but that's called SAP Mobility, which is not part of this course. You are still at a very first step of UI5. That's called SAP Mobility. Still, there is a far way to reach to that level. Okay, I missed the initial part. What will be the duration of this batch? It will be about 2 months because we have 40 hours every day, 1 hour, so approximately 2 months. Our expected tentative ending date of arrival is 18th March. This is our takeoff date. This is our landing date. So 2 months of flight we have it. Okay. Meenakshi dot Singh. Please don't put your email ID. Okay. I think you put it private. Yeah, sure. But please drop me an email so that I will keep track, because I get a lot of emails. If I show you my email box, I get almost 40 to 50 emails a day, guys. So very difficult, because you all know this is hot right now in the market, and that's the future. So I'm getting a lot of mails, lot of LinkedIn like LinkedIn messages, YouTube messages, lot of seeds feeds. So it's very difficult to track. Please drop me an email. Yeah, please drop me an email if you're interested. I'll send you the invite for tomorrow's class to join regularly. Can we configure app after this course in Fiori Launchpad? For that, I have a next course, Fiori Launchpad configuration course. So if I just quickly show you the learning map of SAP Fiori. So let me show you the learning map. You should first start with SAP UI5 and Fiori. That should be the basic. Okay. You should first start with that. Then once you're done with SAP UI5 Fiori, you understood how to build a custom Fiori application, you would talk about extending standard Fiori app. How can you change SAP deliver standard Fiori app? How can you configure the Fiori app in Fiori Launchpad? What is Launchpad? What is roles? What is group? What is catalog? What is administrator access? Using S4HANA KPI modeler, activation, extending OData services, theme designer, custom branding, Launchpad designer. All that is covered in my next course. That's a very advanced thing. So that's why I separated it in a completely different course. So you got to subscribe this after the current course. So once you are equipped with creating end-to-end Fiori application from yourself with learning all the concepts, you can switch to this one. That's your next level. And then if you want to also learn more, you can switch to ABAP on HANA. If you want to learn more, then you switch to HANA Cloud Platform Training, end-to-end application development in cloud. And then I'm also bringing soon with a new course called HANA Access Development, Native HANA Application Development. And then after that, machine learning courses. And then after predictive analytics, SAP Leonardo, SAP Copilot courses, and then SAP HANA Access Development, then SAP Mobility, Hybrid Application Development Toolkit, Cordova and Apache Cordova plugins, real mobile like functionality like push notification, offline access, camera functionality, barcode scanner. So it's endless. It's endless. You need to know what you need to learn. So today, majority of us don't have a clue what is the right direction. Lot of people around us are talking different things. We don't have a right direction today. And that's what I'll give you, a right direction. I will make you understand where are you currently and what should be your path based on your requirement. Okay. So there is a lot. There is a lot. And believe me, be people who are there with me, they are there with me forever because they know me that I always bring in something which is usable, something which they can apply in their course. Okay. On the Fury topic, how depth are you going to cover? We will cover everything what you can assume in Fury. Of course, as I told you, if you expect me to cover Launchpad in this course, different definitely not possible because we have time foundation. 40 hours I can only teach you proper UI5 Fury with which you can build such a custom Fury application end to end. But if you want integration with Launchpad, extensibility and stuff, go with that advanced course. Okay. So anyways, course content and sample demo video is also pointed here. So you can go and check if it meets your requirement. If Anubhav meets your requirement and purpose, you can see I posted a screenshot of my previous batch over here. 59 hours is what we took overall to complete this. And you can see everything is listed here. What am I covering in the video screenshots? I've taken a screenshot of my current batch, which I completed so that I can show a project to the students that this is what we are all covering. Yeah. So that's why I posted this screenshot on my website. So you can see for both the trainings, ABAP on HANA, which is going great in my market currently, I have posted screenshots over here. What am I covering? In detail, if you want, you can download the course content from here and see if it fits to your need. If yes, then Anubhav is the right person. If no, then of course I'm not the right person. But stay tuned on YouTube for free knowledge. I'm sharing with the community, so you can subscribe to my YouTube channel for that. Okay. Next question: is there any different batch timings? Also, I'm so sorry, Samir, that's not possible. I am completely packed for next 1 year on corporate assignments, so I don't have any other slot. I don't have any other slot, neither on weekends nor on weekdays. And that's why you see training cost is competitively very, very low. If you go and compare my training cost and content, I challenge nobody can offer that in market. They will only offer copy paste. They won't offer you better training because they take, even they are ready to take one student in one batch. Lot of fake promises you will get with different institutes because people who is giving you promise is different than people who is teaching. So the you will see this, you will experience this when you go and get in touch with some Hyderabadi training institutes. They will promise you lot of things. Certification kara denge, sir, we will give you job support, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. 100 promises. And when you go across the trainer, you will find different things. Because person who is giving you promise is different than the person who is giving you training. There will be gaps. There will be 100% gaps. I personally experienced it. If you want, I have good examples. A lot of students sent me emails about those institutes, their reality. I can forward that to you. You can make your decision. Okay. So I don't have right now any other slot, and I only take students in batch. I don't take them one on one. One on one, you cannot afford Anubhav anymore. It's not possible to afford Anubhav with one on one training. Okay, is there any batch starting from 25th February? No. You can see all the batch timings exactly here. So you see course name, what mode it is available. Every course has a sample demo here. You can see also over here the details. When it is starting, when it is ending, everything is listed out over here in this section. Okay. You can drop me an email if you're interested. I will let you know the details. Okay. May I know how can I be able to develop app on Eclipse as our development environment in Web IDE? I will explain you. Okay, if you want to get started with Eclipse, no problem. You can easily do it. I had also posted YouTube videos for that. So on YouTube, I had already posted video how to set up your Eclipse development environment for building UI5 and Fury applications. So whatever we are practicing on Web IDE, you can practice on Eclipse. And soon I promise to my students that I will post a video of migrating a Web IDE based application to Eclipse based application. So right now, if you want to get started with Eclipse based development, then you can go and look at my this video where I had posted about Eclipse. So let me just see, where's that video? Getting started with or setting up your Eclipse development environment for UI5. That's the video I think I posted about a year back. So let me just check. Yes, here it is. How to set up your Eclipse environment for building UI5 application. Please look at this video. You will get a fair idea. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. Very, very helpful for you. Okay. A lot of free knowledge on YouTube without paying to anybody anything. Eclipse on same laptop will work with WebID. Yes, it will work, Hitesh. I will show you that in the next class. I will make your WebID setup done in your laptop. I'm wondering why you guys don't want to use WebID, because WebID is what every company is using these days for their Fiori development. Okay. Karthik, as mentioned, please drop me an email if you're interested. I will let you know the details. Okay. Any other questions before we close the demo class? Anybody on the line want to ask a question? You can unmute your line and ask it. Anirban, you want to say something?
Yeah, Anubhav, what are the kind of apps we are going to develop here? Like, if you can show what are the demo projects you have created so far?
Yeah, so we will be creating Fiori based applications mainly. So you see one application we created with Google Map integration. So here it is. So I'll just show you this. So here is a Google Map integration. If you just type in something, maybe can you tell me your hometown, Anirban?
Kolkata?
Kolkata?
Yep.
Hope I'm writing it correctly, spelling. And there you go. It takes you
Just
to
one
Kolkata
C.
directly.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the kind of application we had created. I showed you also the another one, which was the fruits store application, master detail application. We'll also look at work list application development. And you can also see some UI5 based over here. Let me show you with the table control. You can see some switches over here. This is the kind of application we'll create. Also show you something which is UI5 based table based application. So these are all the different variety of applications which we
Uh,
created during the course.
so is there any application that integrates with the backend ECC system?
Absolutely. Towards the end, we will build an end-to-end Fiori application which calls OData services in SAP backend. We'll do that actually.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
do that. Of course, that's our ultimate goal. That's what you do.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you do. Don't worry about that. We'll do that actually. So this is the kind of application we built for model example. We have data models in UI5, which has JSON, XML, OData, and resource model. Four models we have. For all four models to explain, I've created this kind of application. So we'll have a deep dive. I mean, it's not copy paste code. Okay, I'll not teach copy paste. I'll teach you proper line by line writing code so you can understand it. Okay, looks like
Thank you.
no more questions. Then we can wrap up the demo class. Please drop me an email if you are interested and I will guide you. If you are not able to make payment for next 2-3 days, no problem. Don't miss any class. Okay, many people are shy. They are afraid to ask. So I will tell you clearly, don't miss any class. Okay. In fact, my future plan is before I die, I will post all my videos on YouTube absolutely free for this world. As long as we are living in this temporal world, we need money, and for that reason I'm charging you. Believe me, I don't feel like charging for my knowledge many times, but it's unfortunate that I have to live in this temporal world, and for this I need to earn so that I can run my family. That's the only reason, guys, for charging. Otherwise, I personally believe knowledge should be free for everyone. Okay, but unfortunately I have to charge you guys because I have to also run my family. Okay, what is the turnaround time if we email any technical doubt? I would say, Sam, experience it first. Okay, you can experience. Why should I comment on that? It depends on your experience. I can give you big promises, but you should experience it first. Okay, after you experience, Anubhav, I believe you will not go anywhere. Anirban already has attended my Webdin Pro training. You can ask Anirban. Anirban, would you like to share your experience?
Yeah, I was a very satisfied customer, I would say.
So he has already attended my WebDinro training. I think kind of 3 years back, Anirban, right? Three,
Yeah.
4 years. It's been 3, 4 years. And you see, he is a returning customer after 3 years back. After 3 years, he has come back to me. Yeah. So the people who are attached to me, they are attached to me for a long time. It's not like a one-time thing. I keep do remember them, for long, and I have even details of every one of them with me. Okay. Great. So yeah, let me. Oh, oops, I completely missed it. My email ID is anubhav.abap@gmail.com. So you can send me on this, and in fact, you can also get in touch with me with my website, onlinefioritrainings.com. So you can just email me on my email ID about if you're interested to proceed. I will send you guys. Our classes are starting from tomorrow, so don't miss any session. If you got to decide. This is the time. Talking will not help you, taking concrete actions will help you. Okay, I'm not taking functional courses, Deepesh. I'm not functional, I'm more into technical. Yeah, I'm more into technical. So technically you ask me anything, I can help you out with. Great. So thank you so much. Have a nice day. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.